Have you ever gazed up at the night sky speckled with an infinite number of stars and wondered about the unseen realm, the spiritual dimension that the Bible speaks of? Have you considered the existence of angels not just as ethereal figures in paintings, but as powerful beings intricately woven into the tapestry of creation? These celestial beings, mentioned throughout Scripture, appear before shepherds in Bethlehem, stand guard at the gates of Eden, and even engage in cosmic battles against the forces of darkness. But where did they originate? Did God conjure them into existence at the dawn of time alongside the heavens and the earth? Or did they predate creation, witnessing the divine act of bringing forth light from darkness? And a question that pierces even deeper: why did God, in His infinite power and self-sufficiency, choose to create angels at all? What purpose do these magnificent spiritual beings serve in His eternal plan? These are not merely theological curiosities. They are profound inquiries that lead us into the heart of one of the most mysterious and awe-inspiring aspects of the Bible, the origin and purpose of angels. Embarking on this journey of discovery promises to unlock a deeper understanding of God's creation, His eternal plan, and the unseen forces that shape our world. Today we will traverse the Scriptures chapter by chapter, carefully examining the biblical narrative to unveil what it reveals about the creation of angels, their intended purpose, and their intricate connection with humanity. Prepare to delve into a realm where the boundaries of the physical and spiritual blur, where the echoes of celestial choirs resonate, and where the unseen hand of God orchestrates a symphony of creation. But before we begin this exploration, welcome to Bible Mysteries, where we seek to uncover the hidden truths that lie in plain sight within the sacred texts. If you find yourself captivated by the prospect of unraveling the enigmatic mysteries of Scripture, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon to ensure you never miss a future episode. Together, let's embark on this fascinating quest to understand the enigmatic realm of angels. As we turn to the very first verse of the Bible, we are confronted with a passage that is both familiar and profoundly mysterious. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. While seemingly straightforward, this opening statement contains one of the greatest enigmas of all time. Where do angels fit into this grand narrative? Were they brought into being in that very instant when the heavens and the earth were formed? Or were they already present, observing in awe as God separated light from darkness, as He spoke existence into reality? The Bible, unlike a modern historical document, does not provide us with a precise chronological timeline, but it does offer invaluable clues, glimpses into the unseen realm. One of the most compelling of these clues emerges from the book of Job, where God poses a question that silences Job's complaints and redirects his perspective. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth, when the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy? Let these words resonate within you for a moment. God declares that when He established the foundations of the earth, the sons of God, a phrase frequently used in Scripture to denote angels, were already present. They were not merely bystanders created after the event, but active witnesses, participants in the very act of creation. They celebrated, they shouted for joy, they sang as if the creation itself were a cosmic symphony, and they formed the choir rising to its crescendo. Imagine the scene unfolding before your eyes. The universe is being born. Time itself is beginning. Galaxies spiral into motion. Oceans are filled to the brim. Mountains rise majestically toward the heavens, and the air is infused with light. Amid this unimaginable act of creation, a chorus of voices emerges, billions of voices, unlike any human or earthly sound. They are heavenly voices, so radiant, so pure, so powerful, that their very resonance could shake the foundations of the stars. The angels are singing, bearing witness to God's magnificent work. They are rejoicing in the brilliance of His creation. They are observing history unfold before history even begins. Does this image not evoke a sense of awe and wonder? Does it not prompt you to contemplate the sound, the sight, the very feeling of being present in that moment? Yet this revelation gives rise to another question. If angels were present to sing as the earth's foundation was laid, when exactly were they created? The Bible does not explicitly spell out the answer with the level of precision we might desire. However, by examining the scriptures with discerning eyes, we can discover an answer subtly embedded within Genesis itself. The very first verse states, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." While it is tempting to interpret heavens solely as the sky above, Scripture often uses this term to signify something more profound, the spiritual realm, the invisible dimension, where God's throne resides and where His angels dwell. Therefore, when God created the heavens and the earth, He was not only creating stars and galaxies, He was also bringing into existence the entire unseen realm of angelic beings. This understanding sheds light on why angels are already integrated into the narrative by the time Adam and Eve walk in the Garden of Eden. After their fall, a cherub is stationed at the entrance of Eden to guard the way. When temptation arises, the serpent, later identified as Satan, who was once an angel himself, is already present. The angelic drama was already well underway before humanity even opened its eyes, a sobering realization. Angels are not eternal in the same way that God is. They are not self-existent. Only God is eternal without beginning or end. Angels had a beginning. There was a moment existing outside of what we perceive as time when they did not exist. Then suddenly, by the will of God, they came into being, thousands upon thousands, radiant, powerful, and purposeful. Their very existence serves as a testament to God's creative power. In one moment, there was only God. In the next, an entire realm of beings burst into existence at His command. This understanding inevitably leads us to a deeper question. Why them? Why did God create these glorious beings? He did not need them. He is almighty and complete within Himself. He has no lack, no weakness. He does not require messengers, soldiers, or choirs. Yet He created them nonetheless. Perhaps the answer lies in this simple yet profound truth. Creation is not driven by need, but by desire. God creates out of abundance, out of love, out of the overflow of His glory. Angels were not necessary, but they were wanted. Therefore, He filled the heavens with them. This moment occurring in history, or perhaps outside of history, altogether sets the stage for everything that follows. The universe begins. Time begins, the angels begin, and humanity is yet to come. The angels, these magnificent beings of light, stand as the first witnesses to God's masterpiece. Some watch in awe, some sing in harmony, some are already being assigned missions they do not yet fully comprehend. Through it all, they serve as living proof that God's creative work extends far beyond what our eyes can perceive. Pause for a moment to consider this. If angels existed before the foundation of the world, they have witnessed events that you and I cannot even begin to imagine. They saw the birth of galaxies. They witnessed Eden in its pristine state before the fall. They have observed God's plan unfold across millennia, step by step, watching humanity stumble, rise, and stumble again. They are still here, still serving, still awaiting the day when the story reaches its final chapter. Does this not make you wonder how much of your own life has been witnessed by unseen eyes? How many moments of pain, of joy, of worship, of heartbreak have been observed by the same angelic beings who once sang, at the dawn of creation? What we have uncovered thus far is both simple and profound. Angels are created beings. They were made by God at the very beginning, most likely when He created the heavens. They are not eternal, but they are ancient, predating humanity and the earth itself. They were present to witness, to sing, to celebrate as God brought forth the world. They exist not because God needs them, but because God delights in creation. Their very existence reveals the abundance of His glory. This is just the beginning. For if angels were created before us, and if they were made not out of necessity, but out of God's desire, then the question that now demands an answer is this: what for? Why did God populate heaven with these beings of light? What purpose do they serve in His eternal plan? How do they fit into the story of humanity that was soon to unfold? These questions will guide us in the next part of our journey. If angels were present before the foundations of the earth, if they sang when creation came alive, the next question is unavoidable. Why did God make them? What was their purpose? As we established earlier, God did not require angels. He is all-powerful, self-sufficient, and complete in Himself. He does not need messengers to deliver His word, soldiers to defend His throne, or choirs to remind Him of His glory. Why then did He bring these countless beings of light into existence? The Bible reveals that angels were created for a very specific reason: to serve the will of God. Psalm 103 describes them in this way: "Bless the Lord, you, His angels, you mighty ones who do His word, obeying the voice of His word." This verse indicates that their very identity is intrinsically linked to obedience. They exist to carry out God's will, whatever that may entail. From the faintest whisper of comfort to a struggling believer, to the shaking of nations and the protection of God's people, angels are God's servants, His ministers of flame and light. But this is where the narrative becomes even more beautiful. God did not create them merely as silent workers. He created them to reflect His glory in unique and awe-inspiring ways. The book of Hebrews tells us that angels are ministering spirits sent out to serve those who will inherit salvation. This means that angels were created not only for God's glory, but also for our good. Consider this profound truth. Long before Adam took his first breath, long before Eve opened her eyes, God had already prepared a host of beings to watch over His future children. Does this not inspire a sense of wonder that God thought so far ahead, placing guardians in the story even before the story began? Yet angels are not merely passive observers in history. The Bible portrays them as active participants in God's plan. In Daniel, we see angels as warriors contending in the unseen realms. In Exodus, an angel is sent before Israel to guard them on their journey. In the Gospels, angels minister to Jesus Himself after His 40 days in the wilderness, strengthening Him in His human weakness. Time and again, angels step into history, not to seek the spotlight, but to direct us back to the one who sent them. Perhaps their greatest purpose is worship. From the moment of their creation, angels have lifted their voices in ceaseless adoration of their Maker. Isaiah catches a glimpse of this when he beholds the seraphim crying out, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory." John experiences the same vision in Revelation, where multitudes of angels encircle the throne, singing, "Worthy is the Lamb who was slain." Their worship is not forced. It overflows from their very being. They were designed to reflect God's glory, and so they sing, they bow, they cry out in ways that words cannot fully capture. Herein lies a profound truth. When you and I worship, when we lift our voices to sing praises to God, we are joining in a song that began long before humanity was created. We are stepping into a chorus that angels have been singing since the dawn of time. Does this not transform your understanding of worship? Does it not make you realize that when you raise your voice, you are not alone? You are joining in with an ancient, unbroken hymn that stretches across eternity. Angels were created for obedience, for service, for protection, and for worship, but their purpose extends even further. They serve as a living reminder of God's order. Paul tells us in Colossians that all things were created through Christ, and for Christ, whether thrones, dominions, rulers, or authorities. This encompasses angels, which means that angels in all their glory are still under the authority of the Son of God. They remind us that everything, both visible and invisible, finds its purpose in Him. This realization prompts another question. If angels were created to serve, to protect, and to worship, what about free will? Scripture tells us that not all angels remained faithful. Some chose rebellion, turning away from the very purpose for which they were created. This gives rise to an even greater mystery. If angels were created good, and if their purpose was to glorify God, how could some of them fall? How could one of the greatest among them, Lucifer himself, turn his back on the very God who created him? This is where our narrative takes a darker turn, as we delve into the origins of evil and the battle that began in heaven itself. To truly understand the origin of angels, we cannot avoid the question of rebellion, of pride, and of the war that erupted in the celestial realm. If angels were created to serve, to worship, and to reflect the glory of God, the question that almost overwhelms us is this: how could any of them fall? How could beings created in such light, who stood in the very presence of God, turn away from Him? It is a sobering thought, reminding us that free will is a dangerous and powerful gift. Even angels, with all their wisdom and splendor, were granted the choice to obey or to rebel. The Bible speaks of one angel in particular who was not ordinary, not minor, but one of the greatest of them all. The prophet Isaiah, speaking of the king of Babylon, but echoing a far deeper truth, penned these haunting words: "How you are fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of the dawn! How you are cut down to the ground, you who laid the nations low! You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will make myself like the Most High." These verses offer a glimpse into the heart of the rebellion. This angel, commonly identified as Lucifer, was clothed in beauty, full of wisdom, and perfect in his ways. Ezekiel describes him as a guardian cherub, adorned with precious stones, walking among the fiery stones of God's holy mountain. However, beauty can become a dangerous thing when it turns inward. Pride began to take root in Lucifer's heart. Instead of reflecting God's glory, he began to crave it for himself. Instead of worshiping the Creator, he desired to be worshipped. In that moment, the unthinkable occurred. Rebellion was born in the heart of heaven. Pause and consider this for a moment. This was not a minor event occurring in some obscure corner of the universe unnoticed by all. This was heaven, the very throne room of God. In this most sacred space, pride whispered its poisonous words. This reveals something profound about the nature of pride. If it can arise even in heaven, in the heart of a being so close to God's glory, how much more diligently must we guard against it in our own hearts? Revelation 12 offers another glimpse into this rebellion. John sees a vision of a great red dragon sweeping a third of the stars of heaven down with his tail. Many believe this refers to the angels who followed Lucifer in his rebellion. Imagine that. A third of heaven's host, countless in number, choosing to turn away from their Creator, deceived by the pride and ambition of one fallen angel. It is almost incomprehensible. Then the war began. Revelation tells us that Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Heaven itself became a battlefield. Angels who once sang together in harmony now clashed in violence, light against darkness, loyalty against pride. In the end, there was no doubt as to the outcome for who can stand against the Almighty. The dragon was defeated. The rebels were cast down. They were not strong enough. John writes, and there was no longer any place for them in heaven. Can you imagine what that must have been like? One moment heaven was filled with perfect harmony. The next, it was shaken by war. Angels who once stood side by side were now enemies. A kingdom was torn, a throne was challenged. Then silence fell as the rebels were cast down to the earth. No longer angels of light, but fallen beings, stripped of their former glory, twisted by their own rebellion. This is how Satan the accuser enters the story of humanity. Cast out of heaven and filled with rage, he turned his attention toward God's newest creation, mankind. If he could not ascend above God, perhaps he could drag God's children into the same rebellion. From that moment onward, the story of angels and the story of humanity became forever intertwined. However, there is something we often overlook. Not all the angels fell. For every angel who followed Satan, two remained faithful. The majority of heaven's host stayed true to their Creator, unwavering, unshaken, and still burning with devotion and light. While Satan was cast down, God's heavenly host still stood, and they continue to stand even now, carrying out their purpose, fulfilling their role, and watching over the story of salvation as it unfolds. Does this not fill you with hope? For every whisper of darkness in your life, for every temptation, for every shadow that presses close, there are countless angels still standing in God's presence, still faithful, still obedient, and still ministering to those who belong to salvation. The fall of Lucifer was real. The fall of Lucifer was real. It was violent. It was catastrophic. But it was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of a cosmic conflict that still rages around us today. The heavens were shaken, but they did not fall. God's throne was never threatened. And while a third of the angels chose rebellion, the remaining hosts of heaven stood firm, their loyalty unbroken. Imagine that moment, the dust of war settling, the echoes of battle fading into an eternal silence, and the armies of light standing in formation behind Michael, their commander, their armor radiant with the glory of God. In that solemn aftermath, heaven understood something profound. Free will had consequences, love demanded risk, and the future of creation would unfold upon a battlefield that stretched far beyond the celestial realm. The angels who remained did not simply watch, they prepared. For they knew that the dragon cast down in fury would seek vengeance not by attacking heaven directly, but by striking at God's most cherished creation, humanity. And so, the stage was set. The war that began among the stars would descend into the dust of the earth, and the unseen realm would forever shape the destiny of the visible world. So what have we discovered on our journey into the realm of angels? We've seen that these magnificent beings are a vital part of God's creation, brought into existence at the dawn of time to serve worship and reflect His glory. They are powerful witnesses to His eternal plan, actively involved in the story of humanity, and a constant reminder of the unseen forces at play in our world. Even the rebellion of some serves as a stark warning about the importance of humility and obedience. Ultimately, the story of angels points us back to the boundless love and creative power of God, who desires relationship and fills His creation with beauty beyond measure. Now I'd love to hear your thoughts. What resonated with you the most in this exploration of the origin and purpose of angels? Do you have any questions, interpretations, or personal experiences that you'd like to share? Leave a comment below. Let's continue this conversation and learn from each other. And if you found this journey into the Bible's mysteries insightful, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We have so much more to uncover together, and I wouldn't want you to miss out on our future explorations of Scripture. Thanks for joining me on Bible Mysteries, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.